So, hello to everyone and welcome to the fourth education training webinar in the space sector. My name is Margarita Krisaki and today I will monitor the webinar on skills and market needs. Today's webinar, the main question of today's webinar is if the current state of skills in the space sector fits into the market requirements in Europe. So in other words, what the private space sector needs in terms of human resources, and what are the synergies between academia and industry. For this reason, today we have two representatives from the university and also from the industry that will share with us new insights on this matter. But first, allow me to share a few words about NEREUS, what we are doing as NEREUS, and why education training is valuable for our regions. Very shortly from my side, and then we can start the discussion. So, for those who are not aware of our mission, NEREUS is a space organization which explores the benefits of space technologies for European regions and their citizens. And of course, we promote the use of space and its application at regional and local level and towards the EU institutions. We address this mission through three main pillars of activities: advocacy, political dialogue. So we highlight the regional dimension into the context of EU development space policies, interregional collaboration and partnership, which means that we stimulate cooperation within and between regions, and new trends public outreach. So we address technology trends and developments to meet regional users' needs. We are a network of 23 European regions across Europe and 33 associate members, including universities, companies, SMEs, space agencies, and so on. And of course, from this slide, you can understand that education training is a key thematic for our network. We have a strong academia community within our network, but also outside, including multiple training stakeholders. And the next two slides actually explain the reason very well why we do have this strong educational training community. Regions, public administrations are the key users and procurers of space-based applications, products, and services. And for this reason, they need a well-equipped, a trained workforce to support the transfer from the satellite imagery to useful information for many public domains, ranging from agriculture, from traditional applicational domains to more innovative domains like cultural heritage and so on. NEREUS supports this activity and continues to be very active in the education training domain in the space sector. We are involved in many projects on education training. You know very well the Erasmus Plus initiative EO4Geo. We were partners in that initiative. Now it continues as an alliance. Of course, we also have, we are in the advisory board of Universates, another Erasmus Plus initiative promoted by the European Commission. And we encourage space-based careers and education through our exhibition and events. Space Girls, Space Women was one of these exhibitions. Our new one is Space for Our Planet. You can find more information, of course, on our website, and many other activities, including the webinars we organize at the moment on education training. This is from my side. Regarding the presentation. What I would like to remind to the audience is that the format of the current webinar will follow the format of the previous webinar. So we will have the presentations in the beginning and then a focus on discussion with the audience, but also a debate between the speakers. Please don't forget to use the chat to post your questions, and then we, from the side of NEREUS, we monitor it constantly. Before I give the floor to the first speaker, please mute yourselves, please, and remove your cameras. If someone is not a speaker, when it's your time, you can put it back. Okay, thank you. So before I give the floor to the first speaker, I would like to emphasize that the space sector is growing very fast, which is good on the one hand, as there is a continuous job growth, but on the other hand, we come across the challenge of skills shortage. And there, the role of academia is vital. Therefore, I would like to invite our first esteemed speaker, Professor David Buricana from the University of Padova. The University of Padova is an associate member of NEREUS, located in one of the NEREUS member regions, the Veneto region. Professor Buricana, he is an associate professor in History of International Relations since 2015. In the Department of Political Sciences, Law and International Studies, with an expertise in space diplomacy, among many other things. David, we would like to hear from you about your department and university activities in the space sector and the state of art between educational offer and market needs in your area. We are looking forward to your presentation.
Okay, thanks so much for the invitation. It's a pleasure. It's also a very great opportunity to share my idea with you. And first of all, the title in Padua we studied, and we are in human and robotic space exploration. Then I came from the Department of Political Science, but I was also since 2015 a member of the steering committee of CISAS, the Center for Aerospace Studies in the University of Padua. Why I am interested in space? Because I am not a STEAM product, but I came from the international history. I have and I had also for my PhD thesis an interdisciplinary approach. For this reason, I was and I am interested to the interconnection in the past and in the present between science, technology, and foreign policy. For this reason, one of my colleagues from Sorbonne suggested me to participate in the launch of a project, an Horizon Inside, in order to try to explain how science diplomacy may be useful for European Union, and I was in charge of the work package on space activities. Inside, frankly speaking, it was a success. You have the report online. Then, thanks to this Horizon, this is very important for the impact of research. I had another project financed by Italian Ministry of the University, the PRIN 2070, on the role of Italy in technoscience diplomacy since the 1960s, and particularly in space. Last but not least, and I think it's very interesting for you, I was the principal investigator for another project financed by Italian government on COVID crisis in order to try to organize a master on technoscience diplomacy, and particularly from the Italian point of view. This year we have the second edition in May, organized by Padua, but also with other universities and with the participation also of the Italian National Research Center. This is CISAS. I invite you to search the link. CISAS is a very nice, frankly speaking, interdisciplinary center. For this reason, I am the representative of human science and political science in the steering committee, founded in 1992. But the first meeting organized by 8 professors from University of Padua, from engineering, from physics, from astronomy, from geology and medicine was in 1988, when we have the starting point for the Italian Space Agency, because before the Italian Space Agency, we had only a national space plan launched in 1978 in order to cooperate with the European Space Agency, created in 1975. For this reason, CISAS is very nice, very important, very original in the universities in Italy, because this professor wanted to be linked to the Italian agency, but they had a very important cooperative program with USA and Europe. Why Bepi Colombo? You have here Bepi Colombo. We organized a conference about him. He was the grandfather of flyby. And you have Bepi in a real photo with shuttle and tethered satellite. And then you have also a very nice illustration made by Giuseppe Raba for our project with Bepi, with three important probes. Tethered satellite, the Mariner, and also Giotto probe, arriving in 1986 to the comet Halley comet. This is only to understand or to explain, to have in mind the history of space activity in Italy. Italy now is one of the best important countries in the robotic and human exploration, and we have a story to tell and to remind. For this reason, I invite you to see our play that came in. This is an original play about Bepi Colombo, because our activity is a work, but behind the work, we have also very important human personal relations. We are in a competitive world. We are in a European Union organized, created by some member states, but these states are in a competition also, not only cooperation, but behind this we have a very important human relation. For this reason, thanks to CISAS also, we launched in the last year, directed by a previous president of the Italian Space Agency, Roberto Battistone, coordinated by the University of Trento, a new PhD national course in space science and technology. You have here the link. This is very important, very nice. We have about 40 fellowship in several curriculum, particularly 7. You have here the 7 curriculum, and you have on the left cognitive science, humanities, and science and technology. I think this is a very nice, very interesting interdisciplinary PhD courses, engaging about more than 20 universities, and also the Italian National Astrophysics Institute, and also the Italian National Nuclear Physics Institute, for instance, and also the Italian Research National Center. I want to underline this because in the Italy history of science and technology, cooperation between universities, among universities, is very difficult. I want to underline that for the first time, we have a curriculum on economics, law, and space diplomacy, coordinated by me, David Burigana, and this is the first time, and also is very important in order to have in mind that we have to interconnect, to link science, technology, and diplomacy, negotiation at the European level between European member states at the global level. We need diplomacy. You have here the scientific areas, and also, as you may see, my discipline, history of international relations. Why I underline this? Because we are in a new turning point, not only for Italy, but also for Europe and for the space activities and space studies, space research in Europe and at the global level. The present crisis, or better, the war launched by Russia against Ukraine, is an example of how space activities, not maybe, space activities are a geopolitical mirror of the situation. For this reason, last but not least, and I finish here, we want in Padua to underline and to develop courses for students, PhD students and colleagues on the relevance to understand the evolution of the international context from law, economics, but also the political sides. It's very important when we are engaged in a STEM sector, is no more, we are obliged today to understand the international relations and the international situation. In this sense, we may really not to be only an engineer or a scientist, but an international engineer, an international scientist, and to be engaged for our country, because I repeat, our country have national interest to promote and to defend, but also to be engaged in European developments. When we have a very important cooperation to develop between European Space Agency and European Union. Thanks so much, and I think I stop here.
Thank you very much, Professor Burigana, for your input on this matter on skills needed. Before I go to the next speaker, I would like to make a question to you, and has to do with really what you said on your presentation about the need for interdisciplinary skills. You mentioned about science diplomacy due to the also geopolitical circumstances around us. And my question to you is more concrete, actually. You have created a wealth of programs and courses in your university, and more will come in the future, of course. But the question is more about the present. Are the current tools and training material sufficient to respond to the market needs in Europe? From the side of academia, what are the conditions for improvement? If you could share with us 2 words about that.
Thanks. May I give an answer starting from my university, Padua, and the Veneto region. We have created, thanks to Professor Stefano De Bei, now is dead, but he was one of the best professors in space activity in Padua, a network, an alliance between little and medium enterprises in Veneto with the university in order to promote studies linked to all activities in space exploration. For this reason, I speak about human astronauts and also robotics, life science, chemical studies, geodesial observation, and other sector. In this sense, I think this is a very challenging example to link enterprises interested in space and university, starting from a regional point of view. Then, which is the problem? The problem, and I must stop here, it depends at the national level, it depends by the different institutional framework in each countries. In Italy, I must avoid, we have some problems for disease coordination at national level, which will be the solution. For instance, we tried a new national committee in the government, or today a special representative for the president of the council. The name now is Madame Griffoni Winters, for space activities. We need more and more coordination at the national level in order to participate in Europe and also at global level, with also a vision, a strategy. I stop by only citing the CHIPS Act launched for microelectronics in February the last year. We need also some example like Disease Act at the European level, but as you said, with a concrete, real vision about the development not only of the big enterprise like Thales Alenia in Italy and France, but also the medium and the little enterprise, because we have several enterprises, huge of enterprise, which are interested for space, but space is not their principal target. But anyway, they are interested, and we need of this network. And perhaps universities and research center may play the role of a sort of hub in research and development.
For job growth and in general. Thank you very much, Professor Burigana, for your input. We will come back to you. Now I would like to, if there are no questions, there are questions from the audience. Okay, give me one moment before we go to Francesca. So from Gialunzi, Renzi, I have a question for you, Professor Burigana. How difficult or easy it was to administratively organizing the specialization course in exploratory space sciences at the University of Padova, especially for the economic profile?
This is a challenge. I may quote that Padua in this moment is negotiating a new agreement with, thanks to CISAS, because I remember that CISAS must be the hub in Padua of all space activities.
Yes,
a new agreement with the Italian Space Agency, and the director want to put also economy and law and also diplomacy in this agreement. Why? Because we need also to put some courses of not only space economy, but of economics, enterprises economics in our space, not only space PhD program, but also at master level. This is a very challenging, but I want to quote only this. On 6 and 7 March, if you want, you may see by streaming for the first time the conference organized by Italian Foreign Ministry with the Italian Scientific and Space Attaché. For the first time, they passed from 20 unities to 60. This is the first time that this conference would be outside the Foreign Affairs Ministry, and also we will speak about economics and law. For this is very special scientific and space attaché. I think we are aware that we need these courses. Yes, we have some administrative problems, but I want to quote also our administrative personnel, because we speak about academics, but without our PTA, the administrative personnel in Italian university, we are not able to participate in a European national program to organize new courses. I am a witness for this. In Padua, we want to solve these problems. It's very difficult, but
I
we
think
want
it's a
to solve it.
challenge. It's a challenge, David, for all European regions.
Yes,
I might say that coming from Greece.
but it's better. It's
It's,
better to speak about our also personal experience. I think. Yes, I know.
yes, and concrete examples, and that helps also the audience as well to better understand what is the situation and the issues here. David, stay with us. We will come back to you. I just need to welcome now our next speaker, Francesca Albanese, a business development specialist, government and security from Planetech Italia, which is based in Puglia region. Puglia region is one of the NEREUS member regions. We would like to hear from you, Francesca, as an employer, at what extent you succeed finding the right workforce, and if there is a skill shortage in the space sector in your opinion, and how you deal with this. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Margarita, and thank you to NEREUS for this opportunity to present our activities. My name is Francesca Albanese. Thanks for your presentation. I'm a business development specialist in the education and research market, and I'm trying in these last years to take the opportunity to take care of all the activities we are trying to carry on in Planetech in order to have the best cooperation within the academia, so the activity we call the corporate academy. This is our motto, simplifying the complexity of space, which is in terms of relating data, information, objects and people through their location. It's a kind of our slogan from the beginning. Planetech is a group of company. The main company is Planetech Italia, which is based in Bari, in southern Italy. Then we have a sister company in Greece, which is Planetech Hellas, and is part of the group. Also are part of the group two university spin-offs, which are the GOK in the University of Tor Vergata in Rome, and GAP, which is a spin-off of Politecnico di Bari. And the two spin-offs are mainly focused on innovative solutions and image processing using SAR data and SAR interferometry. Planetech was founded in 1994. We are about 78 people now in Planetech Italia, while in Planetech Hellas about 30 people. Just an idea of our annual turnover. And the most important thing to say in this case is that 15% is always reinvested in research and development, which is a big commitment for the company. Planetech works in the whole value chain of Earth observation, from upstream to downstream till decision-making solutions for end users. For what regards from a technological point of view, our main areas of operation are processing data acquired from satellites, from aircrafts and drones to produce maps and indicators. Then we have a section dedicated to space software development, which are usually in compliance with standard adopted in space sector, for data and image processing on board satellites, and for the realization of ground segment infrastructure. Then also the design and implementation of spatial data infrastructure for storing and sharing geospatial data, and the development of location-based solution in real time, which are obtained through positioning systems such as GPS, Galileo, and so on. Since 2021, Planetech has become a benefit company, which means to adopt a business model that aims to operate in a responsible, sustainable and transparent way towards people, the environment, and also the cultural and social assets and activities. So towards all the stakeholders in the space sector and the Earth observation sector. We are organized, we operate in 3 different strategic business units, which are market oriented. So we have Space Stream, which replies to spatial agency, a system integrator developing spatial system. Then we have government and security strategic business unit, which is my one, and it operates towards Italian and international public administration and defense customer, and also with the European institution agencies. The third one is business to business business unit, which operates in the private market, and especially with engineering and oil and gas companies. Just a slide to indicate some awards we obtained in the last years, and I just want to make a focus on the Welfare Champion Index, because in the last 3 years we subscribed to this award, and we were named as Welfare Champion for all the activities we carry on in Planetech. We are currently very busy with a new Earth observation program, which is all Italian, which is related to PNRR funds, and which is the IRIDE Earth observation program, which is launched in Italy to support the digital transition. And it will consist of a constellation of 36 satellites of various types and sizes that we will build in Italy within the next 3 years. We are currently participating to some ESA tenders together with a consortium called OSIRIDE, with the other Earth observation, the other space companies, with our CERCO, which are CERCO, Exprivia, and the Orbit, that are specialized in various segments of the Earth observation industry. Let's jump to our activities, which are strictly connected to the education sector, that we call the generally Planetech Academy. We have several cooperation agreements and partnership with academia. I just indicated some in these slides, and so mainly universities located in Apulia region, which is the main focus of the NEREUS network. So Politecnico di Bari, University of Bari, Università di Foggia, University of Salento, but we have cooperation with several universities also in the whole nation, in all Italy. So cooperation also with master courses like the Master in Geomatics organized by University of Siena, and Master in Geoscience organized from University of Padova, that we have here in this debate. A very important activity we launched in December 2021 is the e-learning platform called e-learning, which is dedicated to the world of remote sensing and Earth observation, and is a focus point of the Planetech Academy. It is a platform containing free and premium courses, which are open to everybody, to students, to professionals, and it is a new opportunity for private and public entities to learn and stay up to date with our technologies, methodologies, and applications of satellite Earth observation. There are also some premium courses that are dedicated to public and private organizations aiming to provide certified training courses. We had in 2022 about 5,000 of subscriptions to this platform, which is a good result for us, and we are going to develop and further improve this platform, this instrument, which for us is very important. As the company's commitment to disseminate knowledge has also led Planetech to join the Copernicus Academy, which was created by the European Commission with the goal of bridging the gap between research and business, and to enhance and further develop the results of Geo4Geo project that you already mentioned. Planetech is a member of Geo4Geo Alliance, which is a reference network to bridge the skill gap between supply and demand of education and training in the geoinformation sector in Europe. Here there is Milva Carbonaro, which I know already talked about Geo4Geo Alliance
in our previous webinars.
In the previous webinar, exactly. We organized
Francesca, if you can close in a few seconds.
Yes, so just something about some activities which are ongoing. We are co-funding 9 different PhD with several universities. Most are located in Apulia region, and the most important at Italian level, which is totally funded by Planetech, is the one with the University La Sapienza in Rome, which is the national PhD in Earth observation. It is a very important experience because in this case it's not focused on technical subjects, but on important thematics connected to the use of Earth observation data in Italian public administration. We have also some fellowships for young researchers related and connected to the REPART initiatives with Apulia region. We are organizing for the end of March the 5th Cassini Hackathon, which is an hackathon organized simultaneously in 10 different locations. And the focus for this hackathon will be the space for defense and security. It will be a good challenge for all the subscribers. The subscriptions are open, registration are open, so I invite everybody attending this webinar if they want to participate. The participation can be in presence or online. We always encourage the participation of young talents, which are always welcome. So undergraduates, recent graduates, and PhD students coming from different degree courses in physics, electronics engineers, and environmental engineers. So we often host students to carry on projects and to participate to our activities in order to have a best participation of and collaboration of academia within the industry. We are actually hiring, there are a lot of positions open that you can find on our website. So we are trying to find new talents for this new challenge of IRID Earth observation program, but also for other activities we are carrying on. So thank you, Margherita, and sorry if I was too long.
Thank you very much, Francesca.
There's a lot to say about Planetech.
Thank you for your presentation. I have 2 questions coming from this rich presentation of yours. The first one would be, but very shortly, what are the challenges in terms of skills when you hire staff?
Well, this is a big problem because I always talk to my colleague in H&R department, because the space sector is the most likely skilled for workforce. And about maybe 80% of workers are holding at least a first degree, and it competes with many other sectors. It is a big problem. So space sector is growing fast, and companies are struggling to recruit because STEM skills are in high demand. So we struggle with the tech and finance sector because they have high profile, higher average pay also. And so it's often really difficult to find people for our company. There's a lack of right mixture of technical skills, experience, and essential skills such as project management or professional communication. So this is a particularly acute for companies, especially in the downstream sector. So this is something that we still are finding. I'm very happy to listen from Professor Burigana that they are carrying on and developing new cross-disciplinary training paths in order to give the right competence to people working in the space sector. Sometimes we have high technical skills, but there's a lack about other professional skills. Yes.
I think you answered also to my second question, Francesca.
Okay.
But I have a question for both of you actually, and more or less we have commented on this aspect during your presentation and also during the discussion. My question to both of you would be the following: does the space sector create conditions for interdisciplinary skills? And if yes, which domains are in high demand? Maybe you can, as you want, Francesca, if you are ready, you can
I
start.
can say that we are actively working with both University of Bari and Polytechnic of Bari to develop cross-disciplinary study programs that can meet the needs of the space sector. So we are also working on the sponsorship of a master's program that align with our needs, and we have also developed the design of a master program that should start soon. This is and it is a new center within a new center for management and innovation. So we are trying to make our best in order to gain what the market needs, what the industry needs in the space sector.
Professor Burigana, something to add?
First of all, when Endeavour was launched in the exploration of the South Ocean, Endeavour was the Her Majestic ship commanded by James Cook in the 18th century. This ship was plenty of several people who never see the sea, and this is a very nice example of interdisciplinary needs for exploration. Space is a very nice, very beautiful new frontier, but also space has a very huge, very important responsibility for us from the political point of view. And for this reason, we need an interdisciplinary approach. First of all, from not a soft skill, but a hard skill like law and economics, and the enterprises, business study, etc. But also then from a creative point of view. For this reason, in our national PhD program, we want to try to have also this interdisciplinary approach, which is the most relevant problem for me, that I must I was not obliged to become an aerospace engineer, but anyway, I must to understand which is a probe.
How it functions, yes.
Yes, now the probe, but also has a sort of technical challenges. At the same time, my dear colleagues from STEM, they are obliged to understand the international law mechanism.
The policy issues, the policy side.
Policies and the other sides, also for human science, where
yes,
in Europe we are very strong on this point. Also from the, for instance, the architecture studies about human life is not only a sort of beautiful tale. These are very, very important tools.
Thank you very much, David, for this great feedback. I still would like to share, before I move on and give the floor to the audience for discussion, I would like to share with you some funding opportunities that are very relevant to our discussion. But very shortly, I'm not going to take a lot of time. So I think you're all aware of this Erasmus Plus opportunity. It's the Alliance for Innovation with the goal to strengthen Europe's innovation capacity by boosting innovation through cooperation. This opportunity, they have the deadline is on the 3rd of May. The budget is around 62 million. And it is distributed into 2 lots. One for the sectorial skills and cooperation on skills, and one for education and enterprises. I'm sure most of you are aware of this, but if not, you can have a look there. And then Marie Curie EU webpage, they are constantly sharing open position in the field of engineering, natural science and mathematics, and for space, of course. So they have multiple open positions. Again, I cannot post here everything. The deadline for most of them is in March, but they have also other deadlines. So have a look there as well. And then from our associate member, the French Space Agency, CNES. CNES, for those who don't know, they fund every year around 30 postdoctoral positions in French laboratories in space sciences, earth sciences and space technologies. This time they have opened 2 positions with a deadline of 16th of March in the research field. So have a look there as well. It's about researchers. And of course, we have the traineeships in USPA and ESA. The deadlines are the ones that you see on the slide, 31st of May for USPA and 22nd of February for ESA. But there are some other job opportunities with different deadlines. So again, for the students in our audience, the graduates in our audience, pay attention to that. And now I would like, because we are short in time, I see in our audience that we have many coordinators of successful EU projects, and I would like to invite one of them that I had the pleasure and the chance to cooperate in the past. If he's still with us, Mr. Ioannis Dondas, he was the coordinator of a successful consortium, a maritime project, impressive. And I would like to ask him, and maybe also if he has a question for us as well, what kind of skills are you looking in your company, in Arato system, and how do you wish to highlight the need of skills in the EU projects? It's something, it's very general, but we would like to hear also your opinion on that, Yannis.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this very warm introduction. Good day, everybody. I'm very pleased of in being here and getting into this very important and interesting discussion so far. In order to make a bridge with what was just said before in the previous discussion, I would like to give a point from my own view is that we all have been in the previous era some 10 years ago when we were all forced to be more specialized to very thin and narrow segments of ICT or aerospace or in general of science. We see now that this is not actually the solution for the years to come. And I believe that, as it was said before, that interdisciplinary approaches to problems, to any kind of problems, to any kind of sectors, are the winning ones. And we are investing on this. We also, in Arato system, which is based in Rien in Netherlands, we are also targeting seminars, professional seminars, not only for our own workers and collaborators, but also for our clients. What we actually do regarding the aerospace related business of ours and works is to try to explain through workshops and seminars to our clients the space business in general, and further the part of the solution that we are offering to them. For example, we were conducting seminars, short seminars about the benefits of space and space-related activities to pipelines protection, for example, to companies who are doing work in pipeline protection, or to insurance companies who are very, very interested for pipeline protection for their clients. So, just to come now to your question and finish by this, is that what we are actually looking for is for the candidates for our workers in our company to have an interdisciplinary approach from their own. For example, the best solution that I have seen so far, the best case option that I have seen so far in this kind of candidates for our work is the background of physics, for example, because it is a general background and involves knowledge from several different sectors, maybe not too deep, maybe surface, but it gives strength to this kind of candidates and current workers in our company to proceed further and at least to understand different kind of things, even if they have not studied. So have some understanding. And this is something that we can use of, because, you know, we can use, for example, AI for giving solutions to us in difficult problems in space sector and other sectors also. But we can use the open mind of people with interdisciplinary approach to guide this AI. We can use AI for narrow things, very special things, but we can use humans with interdisciplinary approach and open mind for anything else.
You made a very good point, Yanis. Do you have any comments, Francesca or David, to Yanis?
I understand his point, because sometimes there's a lack, there's missing a kind of lateral thinking among technical background profiles, because they very frequently consider not highly value on a professional level to have some competencies on commercial aspects, on the knowledge about economy and policies. So this is what is still missing, at least for our experience in Planetech. And we are trying to make our best to to meet this and fill this gap.
Yes, if we see at the European level in the university, we need this type of approach to space studies to oblige people by STEM to study also a little, I repeat, economics or better commercial studies, also in order to convince them, and I'm sorry, but also the president of the university, that this is a very special opportunity for markets and for developing also research inside or in cooperation with enterprises. Because sometimes we may, for instance, in Italy now with the National Plan of Resilience and Reconstruction, we experiment how we need to stay in touch with industries, not in order to to have now in mind the first mission of the university, research and teaching, but in order to exploit new opportunities, to have funds and to develop this connection, and also to stay in touch with the market evolution. As you said, Margarita, at the beginning, space exploration is not only innovative, but very quickly innovative sector, and we have no sometimes second or third place.
Time to
global
think.
level.
Yes, yes. If there are no questions from the audience, I would like to make one final question from my side, or a bit maybe to clarify an aspect of the synergies between academia and industry sectors. From your presentation, David, but also from Francesca's presentation, we understood that you collaborate with each other under EU projects, but also you have your own initiatives, individual initiatives for cooperation. how do you decide when you can collaborate through an EU project, or when you want to collaborate directly with the industry or the university?
I don't know if I
Is there any specific need that
frankly speaking, from my point of view, but I came from a special sector, we are obliged to search funds for new research and new ideas. This is, I know some other colleagues in Milan, for instance, we have a very nice professor in contemporary history specialized in international science and technology. The name is Mauro Elli from the history department. He obtained a very nice fellowship for a researcher by staying in touch with an enterprises from Milan. This is a nice, a very little important example. Last but not least, I want to quote NetVal in Italy, a network among universities, office for research and innovation, and enterprises interested to this research. NetVal, I think, is a very nice example of this attempt to have a networking between university and the world of enterprises. Last but not least, I'm sorry, is very important. I want to underline that this is a work, but human personal relations are important. And it's important to make a network, to enlarge contacts, and to have also the idea to propose some colleagues to cooperate with. I knew some engineers and enterprises engaged in space activities in order to cooperate with them. This is very important, I think. Thanks.
I think you answered to my question, David. Thank you very much. Always with concrete examples from your region. So thank you very much for this. Francesca, do you have something else to add?
I think it is very important to make network both at a European level, like we are doing with EU4Geo
out of our initiative, yes,
and also with local universities, like we do in Puglia with University and Politecnico in Bari and the other university in the region. So both the approaches are very important.
Sufficient. Gianluigi, I saw you raised your hand. Do you want to say something to the speakers? Do you want to ask them something? Or it was... Okay. Yanis, do you... Yes?
It was an error. Just
okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thank
Yanis,
you.
one last thing from your side?
No, I'm okay.
May I say only, yes, because I am European, but I came from a little town in the center of Italy. I was born in Florence, and I want to finish by quoting some Italian words. I think that we need also in Italy to side play, giocare di sponda, to make network, to have this courageous approach. And I think this is very important, also from Italian cultural point of view, to side play, not to play alone. Thanks so much for your invitation, and also to others.
We thank you, Professor Burigana and Francesca from Planetech Italia. Before I close the meeting, I put on the chat the next webinar that NEREUS organizes. Have a look. It's on defense and space. It's on space for critical infrastructure, how space can support hospitals and ambulances, so the healthcare sector. It's on the 7th of March. Then we have space and defense. We have on the 14th of March. We have invited NATO, a speaker from NATO. And then we have our education and training series in April, 4th of April, with the scent of a woman, because it's in view of the Women's Day, and the topic would be gender equality and skills needed. You can register. The registration is open. I would like to thank the audience for staying from the beginning till the end of the webinar. It means that you were really interested about the speakers and the content of the webinar. So thank you very much, and I wish you a very nice day. Thanks to all.
again, Margherita.
Thanks
Thanks
to
to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a nice
Very
day.
interesting.